The following video should help you with calculating volumes of solids. So what I've provided you with here are some kind of colorful pictures of 3D solids and the volume formulas that are associated with them. So if it helps you when you're doing your homework to have this tab open perhaps, that might help you as you're finishing up your assignment for this week or as you are working on the calculations for things you find around your home. Okay, so one of the formulas that I see is not written in here yet, and so I'm going to go ahead and write it in, is for the triangular prism. And remember, we talked about in my other videos how this shape that defines your prism is really the area that you have to find first, and then you can just multiply it by the length or the height. So given the variables that you see in this particular picture, your volume is going to be just the area of the base. So the area of the base is going to be the area of a triangle. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height, and that piece represents the area of this triangle, this red area that you see right here. And then you simply multiply it times this length. So times length or times height, if it's standing on end, would give you the formula. So that should help with calculations. Let's do a couple together just so you can see how the numbers turn out on this. And then I'm also going to do an example of a trapezoid-based prism because I know you have a problem like that in your homework, and that one might be a little bit challenging. All right, so let's start here with this right square pyramid. It has a square as its base. So that's pretty handy. And the height is going to be this height right in the center that you see right there. So I'm going to go ahead and just try and do my best to sketch a prism that has a square base. Okay. And sometimes sketches like this turn out okay, and sometimes they don't turn out super great, but we'll give it a shot. There you go. So this pyramid that I've drawn, I'm going to say it has a height of 10 centimeters, and I'm going to say it has a base of an 8 by 8 square. Okay. So one of the things we talked about in one of my other videos is how this relationship of things coming to a point for a cone or a pyramid, you have to take 1/3 of the area of the base times the height. So the volume formula here is actually going to be 1/3 the area of my base, and I'll plug those numbers in just a minute, times my height. And my height I know is 10 centimeters. Okay. The area of my base is going to be this 8 by 8 square. So I'm going to go ahead and just color in my base. That's the base of the pyramid right there that you see. That's the 8 by 8 square. So 8 times 8 is 64. 64 times 10 is 640. And remember, we're taking 1/3 of that, or dividing that by 3. So I'm going to take a minute and grab my calculator and divide that by 3. So for this particular problem, we get a volume that is equal to 213.3 repeating, so in 1/3. And volume we label as centimeters cubed. Okay, so there's one example. I'm going to draw a line here and divide these up. I'm going to march down the page here and do a couple more examples. I think I'll try and move these. I don't know if I can move the pictures as... Yeah, I can. There we go. I'll move that one down a little bit. I'll move this one down a little bit as we're videotaping. Okay, so a triangular-based prism, this one, instead of having a square for its base and being a pyramid, this one is a prism. And you have a variety of problems like this in your homework where the base and the height of your triangle are meeting at a right angle. right here. So the 12 is your base, and I think that looks like a 9 as the height. So the volume calculation for this particular prism is going to be, once again, the area of the base times the height. In this case, the height is that length, how long that piece is. So that is 18 centimeters. And the area of the base is going to be the area of this triangle. So we know a triangle has an area of 1/2 base times height. So 12 times 9, and then we're just going to multiply all of these together. So I am going to do that on my calculator real quick. So 12 times 9 times 18, and then divided by 2 should be a volume that is equal to, and these are centimeters as well right here, so 972 cubic centimeters. Okay, so again, the key for volume is kind of deciding what that shape is that defines your prism or pyramid. So here it is, there's that triangular shape, and then you just multiply it times that length or that height that you see right here. Okay, let's do one more. I'm going to tackle this trapezoid. The trapezoid is tricky. The reason the trapezoid is tricky is because finding the area of the base of the trapezoid is tricky. So I'm just going to color in this trapezoid back here, this base. See that piece right there? That is the trapezoid area that we have to calculate. And then once we know that trapezoid area, then we just have to multiply it by the 22 you see here to find the volume. Okay, so let's go for this. Volume of a trapezoidal prism. Again, the tricky part. Area of the base. Okay, so 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height times the length is going to give us the entire volume. So look at how crazy this area formula is for our trapezoid. It's a tricky one to be sure. Okay, so let's plug in our values. So volume is equal to 1/2, and base 1 plus base 2 are going to be these pieces right here. I'm going to try and highlight. Here's our base. It's the part of the trapezoid that are parallel bases, so 8 and 12. And we know this is 12 here because this is 12 back here. Okay, so 8 plus 12, those are going to be our bases, times the height, and here is our height of our trapezoid right there. How tall is that trapezoid? It's 10 centimeters. So we're going to click that right into that spot. And then last but not least, this length, again, as we mentioned, is how deep the prism goes. Okay, so 22 centimeters. So you see how all those pieces are being plugged in there? And then our job is to simplify. So I'm going to take 1/2 of 8 plus 12 is 20 times 10 times 22. I'm just going to still keep going with some mental math here. 1/2 times 20, so 1/2 of 20 is 10. So I have 10 times 10 times 22. I know my 10 times 10 is 100. Times 22, we're almost there. And so it looks like 2,200 cubic centimeters would be the volume of this prism. All right, I hope those examples have helped you guys out so that you can be successful on your homework. Sorry I didn't get this posted earlier. I will get it going here so that you can finish strong. We only got a little bit of time left together for this remote learning, and you guys are doing a really great job. I'm starting to see projects come in from the solids you are finding around your home and doing volume calculations on, so that is great and that is encouraging, and you guys are the best. All right. See you soon.